6, offered by Mr. McKinley of West Virginia.
Pursuant to House Resolution 619, the gentleman from West Virginia, Mr. McKinley, and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from West Virginia.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, thank you. And I want to thank Chairman Micah and the leadership for working with our office to allow this amendment to proceed and to be offered. Just a reminder, this issue passed the House on a 2-to-1 vote back last October, and previously on a continuing resolution. The legislation has had strong bipartisan support, with numbers of Democrats voting in favor. So we're not here to rehash those old fights. What we're here to do is discuss how fly ash pertains to maximizing funds for our roads and our bridges and our construction projects, and protecting hundreds of thousands of jobs all across America. But there are those that don't see the correlation between coal ash and concrete, even though it's been an integral part of concrete in America for over 80 years. Quite frankly, upwards of 316,000 jobs are at stake with this amendment, and over $100 billion in roads, bridges, and infrastructure projects if coal ash is not recycled into concrete. Keep in mind, 60 million tons of fly ash are recycled annually. Let's read some quotes from some of the individuals that have talked about with the Veritas Economic Consulting Report about 316, for the American Road and Transportation Builders Association with the $100 billion. Here's from the Home Builders Association: removing coal ash from the supply chain would increase the price of concrete by an average of 10%. Fly ash replaces the American concrete pipe, replaces 15 million tons of cement in its use. Look at what the administration's agencies are talking about. Under the Department of Interior and Department of Transportation, Department of Interior, we concur with industry leaders who feel strongly that if fly ash is designated a hazardous waste, it will no longer be used in concrete. Here from the same department, fly ash approximately 20 to 50% less than the cost of concrete. Fly ash is a valuable byproduct in transportation, used in highway facilities. It is a vital component of concrete and is important for the number of other infrastructure uses. And then the last, cement is more costly than fly ash. In some areas, it is as much as twice the cost. So what's EPA say? Their own statements. 1 ton of fly ash used as a replacement for cement replaces the equivalent of nearly 2 months of an automobile's carbon dioxide emissions. 1 ton of fly ash used as a replacement for cement saves enough energy to provide electricity to an average American home for nearly 20 days. Coal ash leads to better road performance. Mr. Speaker, let's be honest. What we're relating to here is about the use of fly ash in concrete that's been for over 80 years. Anyone opposing this legislation clearly has an agenda. That agenda is anti-coal. So that's why I'm asking my colleagues to join me today in supporting this amendment once again and protecting 316,000 jobs and maximizing the highway funds available for upgrading our roads and bridges all across America. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the gentleman of West Virginia?
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent, although in support of the amendment, to claim the time in opposition to.
Without objection.
And I yield
Gentleman's recognized.
3 minutes to the distinguished gentleman from California, Mr. Waxman.
Gentleman's recognized for 3 minutes.
I rise in opposition to the amendment. President Obama has already threatened to veto this legislation because it circumvents the long-standing process for reviewing and the potential